Welcome, my beautiful souls, and welcome, Leo, for your birthday reading. This is for August 2025. I can't believe I'm saying the word August. Um, but August. So happy birthday to those who will be celebrating a birthday. This will be for Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising. Many of you are intuitively guided now. Your spirit guides are nudging you. You could certainly be in love with a Leo, but remember that if you're here checking up on their energy, be open to receiving messages for yourself, because your guides know you're here. And I know that they'll use any means possible to get a message to you. So it's really for anyone who's here. So there's a couple things I want to talk about before we get into the cards, Leo. Um, and this is the energy that I feel, when I'm shuffling. What I do is I pre-shuffle all the decks I'm going to use, like even the ones that I think I might use. I go ahead and pre-shuffle them. And I do this so it just really puts me in a meditative state. And this is really where I can pick up a lot of information for you. So some of this is already known. So we have the new moon on August 5th. That is my mom's birthday. She's no longer with us, but, well, she's with us, but not physically. Um, so this is a time to set your intentions. But what I added to that is think about your deepest desires. A lot of people feel like, well, I'll never manifest that. Don't even tell yourself that. Don't forget about the power that you have within you. So set your intentions, let them be your deepest desires. And then we have the full moon, which I believe is on the 19th, in the sign of Pisces. And I feel like that's going to help you. So what I put down is, first of all, I feel like the new moon is really going to amplify your magnetism, making you the center of attention. Leo, I always feel like you should be the spotlight should be on you. I don't know. I always feel that with you. But this is definitely saying you have the ability to be the center of attention, and hopefully for good reasons. This is also great energy for love, really in all areas. Um, Virgo's influence towards the end of the month will definitely help existing relationships deepen. And singles, you may meet someone who is really drawn to your confidence and your creativity. So let that shine. If you're looking for love, let that shine because that's exactly what someone's going to be drawn to. Your new moon may see you um, having career breakthroughs. And I feel that there's going to be some who are now finally ready to launch their businesses. I'm saying finally ready because I know a few of you have been wanting to. But sometimes we're waiting for the right time. Well, this is your right time. And I feel that spiritually. And speaking of spiritually, I did write down that your intuition should be really heightened, mainly due to going into the full moon of Pisces. That's going to be again around the 19th, I think. Um, but yeah, spiritually, your intuition's going to be heightened, and it's really asking you to trust your inner voice and explore these creative endeavors, even some mystical pursuits. So, whatever that may mean to you, but that's the word I got, mystical. Mystical. Mystical pursuits. Don't be afraid of. Um, and I'm only saying that because, I just feel with your creativity. with your outlook, and when you really trust that inner voice, I could see you doing some really exciting, creative, like, like businesses that maybe we haven't really seen a lot of. Like, I see you doing something new that's going to surprise a lot of us. I wonder who that's for. Probably for more than one person, by the way. You know what I feel? I feel like it's for those who, well, I don't want to take away from anyone. For those who are thinking it like mysticism, like in that area, I don't know. I just feel like you're going to surprise us in the best of ways. Maybe that means the people who are regularly on the channel is probably talking to you. Um, all right. So, anyways, let's go ahead and let's get into the cards. Let me go ahead and bring the lid down. We are not using, Mother Mary will open up the reading. I am going to use the Gilded Tarot to clarify and go deeper. I'm going to use the Universal Tarot for your main spread. And of course, we're going to use the major arcanas, and which have become a staple in our readings. And I did ask a lot of you last month, do you like the major arcanas in the reading? Do you feel the value that do you feel that they bring value to the reading? I love them, but truth be told, I want to do what feels right to you. So I always love your feedback. Truly, I do. Okay, so August. I should give a shout out real quick to the Leos in my life, starting with my grandson just had a birthday, right on the cusp of Cancer and Leo, July 23rd. My mom, August 5th is when, same time you're going to have your new moon. My son, who has crossed over, August 12th. My soul sister Diane is August 16th. And Sam, I know I say this all the time, although he is a Virgo, um, the 23rd of August, but he's right on that cusp of Leo. And I do see the Leo qualities within him and the Virgo qualities. So that's why I always include him in the reading. I feel like if you're on the cusp, chances are you carry a little bit of both energies. So let's go ahead and open this up. Mother Mary, for my beautiful Leos, your beautiful spirits, what message do they need to hear for August 2025? And as many of you know, I do give a date, right? August. But I know that when a reading finds you or you find it, that is your divine timing. So, in a way, what I'm saying is don't get stuck to like the date because that's not how spirit works, right? Time is fluid. I only say August so we can put it in a playlist, so to speak. But whenever it reaches you or you find it, that will be your divine timing. Mother. Wow, mother. All of a sudden I have goosebumps. I just feel like it's from my son. I open my heart to my mother's humanness and her divinity. Mother. Some of you may have a mother who is very important spirit guide. Very important. Like the leader of the pack. Interesting. And I have a feeling that the leader of the pack. How'd that song go? I have a feeling that that's a clue. Like that was a song that they liked. They may have even sung it. You know, it's interesting when I hold a card. This is why I always have a hard time really teaching tarot because it's like I can feel the messages come through the card. Cards are really just a tool, I guess. But anyways, mother, mother. All right, let's put mother in the spotlight right there. Oh, I forgot to turn my light on. Dang it. All right, let's bring in the major arcanas. And for anyone who's new, the reason why I use these is they give us what I call bullet points of really what our whole reading is going to be about. Um, but oftentimes they tell their own little story on top of that. So both apply. All right. I usually try to get 3 to 4, but very seldom do I refuse whatever comes to the table. If I feel it's like my human action, my human mistake, then I know that. Hmm. We start with the devil, card of Capricorn. I really don't read these as people, but you can. You know, you certainly can. The devil really talks about temptations. I feel like the devil can cast illusions, make you feel stuck when you're really not, or making you feel powerless when you really hold the power. Remember, we have power over the dark. And I'm not saying Capricorn is dark. I'm saying the devil is. And then we have, interesting, the hermit. And it's interesting because the hermit's back is to the devil. The hermit is the card of Virgo, by the way. And we're in the year of the hermit. The closing out of a 9-year cycle. I like that the hermit has its back to the devil. I feel like what this is saying for some of you, there could have been certain energies that maybe weren't so great for you, but yet tempted you to them. It could have even caused like what we call dark night of the soul. And dark night of the soul just means something you go through that's very, very difficult. It just feels dark, right? But what the hermit is seeking is the light. And what the hermit realizes it, through this reflection is I am the light. When I think of the hermit, I think of experiences that I've been through that were very difficult. And I remember like waiting for that hero. Like, I want a hero to come in and save me. Well, I had to be my own hero. And then as soon as I made those changes, my life changed. So, I don't know. And I am a Virgo. All right, well, let's keep going. All right, we're not going to take those. We have judgment. Judgment is your spiritual team. I always feel like it's a good sign when judgment shows up because they're calling you to the present moment. That means, well, their message is there's about to be a rebirth. And following the hermit, the final 9-year cycle, there definitely is going to be a rebirth. But this is calling you to the present moment. This isn't about 2026. This is about right here, right now. This means they're sending you some types of signs. It's interesting because the hermit, speaking of light, is illuminating judgment, and judgment's trumpet is blowing the trumpet towards the hermit. And I definitely feel like the Hermit's talking about your spirituality. I have a feeling there's just something difficult you've been through, but I feel like you're coming out the other end. Maybe you're not 100% yet, but I do feel like you're coming out the other end. All right, we have the Hierophant. And anytime I see this Hierophant, I feel like there's about to be a blessing and it's following judgment. And then we have Justice. Well, that makes sense because it's mirroring the devil, cutting of ties. Judgment is about balance. That's ultimately what it is. And this sword of justice, it's like our intuition. It was a gift that we were given. And it's to use to cut ties to anything that we know is not serving us, whether it's a person, a thing, you know, justice mirroring the devil. It could certainly talk about some of you overcoming, like addiction or just anything, or a person who's, the bottom line is what I feel is you felt stuck for a while, but I feel like you're coming out the other end. You're coming out brighter than ever. Judgment wants to guide you now. Judgment always wants to guide you, but definitely, I mean, it's right in the middle of these five cards. And to me, it's like that's what makes it stand out. So some type of messages that are coming, they're definitely coming up the light. And again, it feels like a blessing. The Hierophant is a number five, and five does speak about change. The Hierophant does ask you, you know, to take a moment and think about certain things like your life and how you're living it. Are you living it according to your morals? Or have you lowered your morals due to another? Be true to you. That's what I'm feeling right now. Like, I feel like your guide just saying, be true to you. And if something doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. So, using that sword, what it does is it balances you, it balances your life. Justice is really about what's fair and just in your world. And when justice shows, it's about making you whole again. But you do have to use that sword. And it doesn't have to be major. It could be energetic, like just the way I've been thinking, you know? Maybe I've been thinking like, what's that one card of Mother Mary? I expect good things to happen, and they do. I expect good things to happen, and they do. Well, the same could be said for I expect bad things to happen, and I'll be damned, they do. That's the power of intention. Your power. Um, Just is also a card of Libra, and the Hierophant card of Taurus. I don't know if I said that. Okay, let's bring in the Tarot, or Universal Tarot. Give him a shuffle. So, although everything is pre-shuffled for anyone who's new, I do like to give it a shuffle with you here. Number one, I feel like it helps to erase any doubt, if you had any. I hope nobody carries doubt as it relates to me. Um, but you know, I get it. But number two, it just infuses your energy. That's what I feel. All right. Queen of Cups. And look at this. There's our mother. There's our mother figure, the Empress. Really beautiful. I feel like for some of you, whatever you've been through that has not been easy, I feel like you have a mother or a mother figure who was helping you, like helping you to find that light. And let's also not forget that this month is really calling for you to be creative. And nobody's more creative than the Empress. This is someone who truly trusts. Well, you know why she trusts? Because she knows, like all of us are receiving signs through judgment, our spiritual team, all the time. But she is someone who, well, she's been through a lot in her life. She's been through all the journeys of the queens and has overcome. Doesn't mean that she never got stuck. Doesn't even mean that like she wasn't tempted to, but it's the growth. It's the spiritual growth that she's had. So this is also about being loving and nurturing. And I could see that because the Queen of Cups is holding a cup in her hand. She's holding a cup in her hand. Queen of Cups can be Virgo, no, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Well, I feel like someone's holding a cup to you. This queen is like anxious to get out of her seat. Well, let's keep going. So funny how I felt earlier that mother was also from my son. And it's interesting because I am a Virgo, and now the mother figure is underneath that. And you know why I tell you this? Like, I could just keep that private, but I tell you because I want you to know that your guides are also helping you, but I do love how I feel like my son is always sending not just me, but us signs. My mom was also Virgo, or why do I keep saying Virgo? Was also Leo. So, it's crazy. I just ended the sentence that way. So, ooh, okay. The Chariot, card of Cancer. The Chariot is truly about unlimited potential. And I feel like you've got to know that about yourself. The only limits are the limits we put upon ourselves. The Chariot does need balance to really soar. And I feel like that's probably why justice is also here, so that you can soar. It's the balance of the feminine and the masculine, the light and the dark. Um, and another thing about the chariots is it's your intentions that tell the chariot where to go, not the reins of the horse. Your intentions direct the chariot, and the chariot just follows or takes you to higher realms. We have the Nine of Wands, and then, hello, Ace of Cups. So, how interesting that the Ace of Cups is mirroring this Queen of Cups, who's actually holding a cup. And I felt like she wanted to get out of her seat, like she wanted to offer this cup. And then here is this cup. Now, right before that cup is the Nine of Wands. And that is about reflection, as is the Hermit. But this is really about looking back with a sense of everything you've overcome. Everyone behind this person is an experience, is something, either an adventure or something they've overcome. It's what's made them who they are today. If you look at the person's clothes, they're busting out of them. Why? It's spiritual growth. These muscles represent your spiritual growth. And you know how beautiful when the full moon in Pisces is really going to ignite your intuition. And just think if your intuition's already strong, it's only going to become stronger. And this is really about being proud of who you are, proud of the things that you've overcome. Um, remember, and it makes sense with the Empress here because the Empress, loving, nurturing, but powerful, strong, creative. You know, there's nothing negative I can say about the Empress. There just isn't. So how interesting this queen, she delivers this cup. Even the person in the Nine of Wands is looking at that cup. We have the world, the next chapter. Interesting because judgment's calling you to the present moment, telling you there's about to be a rebirth. Well, this would represent, when you see the world, it means something has come to an end and was probably meant to, because this is the next chapter. And I feel the world's energy is very spiritual. It's the last major arcana in the tarot. So to me, it's like the closest energy to God. And in between, like, this is really the foal. So it is about taking a leap of faith. It is about free and clear energy. And now I kind of understand. I feel like the hermit with the devil, it is about, I feel like many of you have been reflecting on the things that haven't been working, on, why did I lower my vibration? Maybe to be with another. But I don't feel like you're doing that any longer. I feel like with the world showing right now, and it's following the Ace of Cups, something is ready to open. And if this has anything to do with love, well, the Empress is open to love. The Empress doesn't have to have love. She's not someone who's like, oh my God, I want love in my life. I shouldn't have said it like that because, um, but she's not. She's someone, hey, if love comes along, great. If it's of a high vibrational love. Because remember, she carries a higher vibrational energy, but so deserving because she's gone through that dark night of the soul. She's come out the other end. Let's keep going. High Priestess, your intuition. All right, I'm going to pull these cards together. Your intuition, mirrored by the Hermit. Well, the Hermit's all about spiritual wisdom. I feel like the Hermit's a wise old soul. And, really what the Hermit's doing here is, if you notice that his belt is a snake, a serpent, his lantern would illuminate that. It's like he's got power over it. He, she. So it definitely feels like you have reclaimed, well, some type of power but it definitely feels like your spirituality. If you don't feel like, well, I'm not really living a spiritual life, I have a feeling you're going to move into that. And when I say spiritual life, it doesn't mean like that's all I talk about. Because I feel like you are creating. You're listening to your intuition. And if this Ace of Cups is coming in, I love that the High Priestess is here because that's what you want to trust, your intuition. And even the Fool being in the middle of the world's energy, that would make sense because it's a closing of a chapter and the opening of a new chapter. The Fool, free and clear, ready to take a leap of faith, which you often are. That's what I love about you. Like, you will take these leaps. And yeah, not all of them are going to pay off, but at least you tried. Like, sometimes I feel like it's better to try, even if I fail, than to never have tried. Your major arcana, the strength card, mirroring judgment. There's something that you guys have been getting over. And it may have to do with you yourself, but it also could relate to other people. But the strength card is really about the courage you find when you look within, when you really know yourself, right? The good, the bad, the ugly. Because the one thing you can control in life is you. And it's like judgment is noticing that, like noticing these, like a leap of faith that you took, like the realization of what is not good for me, maybe who's not good for me. It's interesting how I said with the new moon about setting your intentions and your dreams, because I have a feeling you may just manifest some dreams, though they may look different than you expect, or let's say than you asked, but they'll only be better. You have a lot of spiritual energy here. And I feel like what it's asking mainly is for you to trust within yourself because I feel this sense of real growth. Well, look at that. Two Leos back to back. Now we have your ruler, the sun. Always, always a great omen when the sun shows up in a reading. Number one, it's your illuminator. You know, it, if anything is done in the dark, it will come to the light. So there's no need to fear, like, oh, I don't know if this is dark or not. You'll know. You'll know. But I'm not feeling darkness. I'm feeling light. I'm feeling that many of you have done some, let's just say, reflection that I feel your guides are very proud of. And it just feels like now is the time. Well, I feel like the Hierophant's blessing you. Even the sun coming over the Nine of Wands. Like, I want you to be proud of yourself, especially for the things that you've overcome. You may say, like, but it was my fault I got trapped in that. Well, there's many things I got trapped in, you know what I mean, that it was my fault. Um, but you can't, I shouldn't, how do I say that? Situations that you find yourself in. But many times it's because the energy, or if it's a person, they present themselves differently than what they truly are. But now that the Empress is showing, I feel like there's no way. Well, let me just put it a different way. I feel like you'll be able to read their energy, anybody's energy at this point, and then trust that. Especially with the high priestess under the empress mirroring the hermit. So whatever epiphanies you receive, any energy that comes towards you, good or bad, you're gonna know it. Now, again, I don't see anything bad coming towards you. I feel like the hardship, it kind of feels like it's behind you. Some of you may have had it rough in love. And that Knight of Wands would ask you to just reflect upon that. Interesting, I just said some of you had it rough in love, and then the Ten of Wands comes out. Well, that's rough. But here's the thing, even though the Ten of Wands just came out under the Ace of Cups, the Nine of Wands is looking at the Ace of Cups. So I feel like this is just the realization of, for some of you, like a difficult experience as it relates to love. You know, the Ten of Wands can certainly represent you carrying, someone carrying the brunt of their responsibility. You know, a one-way street where it needs to be a two-way street. It's mirroring the world. So it wants to end. And then look what else came out. The star. Your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. It's like, what do you want to manifest today? Also, card of Aquarius. You know, if you're looking to manifest love, well, here it is. But if you're looking to manifest something that has a creative nature, here it is. I feel like this chariot is representing everything and anything. Your intentions, what you want to do in this world. But sooner versus later. All right. We have the Queen of Wands on the bottom of the deck, probably you. Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. Queen of Swords, Seven of Cups, Queen of Wands. Some could have been in a decision mode. You know, Seven of Cups behind that Queen. That really speaks of chaotic energy, but it's behind her. So, in a way, I feel like this is, because it's behind her, a decision has been made, and Seven of Cups is really about an emotional decision. Like, I feel if this Ace of Cups comes in, which here it is, you know what I mean? Here it is. Um, for some of you, it may have taken a little time to evaluate it. I feel like this Ace of Cups doesn't feel like it has anything to do with the Ten of Wands. I feel like the Ten of Wands is what was with another. And the Nine of Wands is you realizing that. Realizing, it wasn't a two-way street. The sun is going to illuminate whatever it is you need illuminated. But it's definitely going to illuminate your signs. And even, remember how I said, this is about manifesting your deepest desires. Well, use the energy of the star. to manifest your deepest desires. And it doesn't have to be one thing. I feel like you have a few wishes coming true, and I'm saying wishes, but boy, do I feel like you earned each and every one of them. The star really needs you to work hand in hand with divine to bring these wishes to fruition. Some of you are wishing for one energy to end, but I want to pull back and say, remember, you have the power. Sometimes we don't want to end something because we're just unsure of what would be next, or we're unsure if we're meant to end it. You know what I mean? But the hermit looking at judgment, I feel like there's going to be more clarity, especially with the sun here, too. I just feel like there's going to be so much clarity for you. You know, I do feel like this Ace of Cups is coming in, but I feel like it's just one dream or even blessing. It's like a reward. It probably is like a karmic reward. It may be divine timing. You know, instead of getting mad at the Ten of Wands energy, where again, it's like all the responsibility is on my shoulders, I feel like instead of getting mad, look at it, realize it. The sun is illuminating it. It did make you stronger. It did make you stronger. I don't feel it's the way you wanted to become stronger, but maybe that's the way your soul wanted it. All right, let's bring in the Gilded Tarot. So we have a lot of creative energy on the board. Your intuition seems to be in tune. You have blessings coming in after some difficult things. Some of you, I feel like there could be a love offer, or maybe that love offer was already there. But again, uncertain what to do with that. Let's just say if you feel, how do I want to say this? Try not to be afraid of love. Even if you're not looking for love, but love just enters. Of course, you can say no. That is your right. But I'm just thinking with judgment here, and the Hierophant giving you a blessing. And right below that is that Nine of Wands, and it's mirroring the sun. It makes me feel like if this is speaking of love, and by the way, the Ace of Cups can also be the love of yourself. You know, learning to love yourself again, learning to love your life again. Um, maybe that ace, you know, I do feel like the Ace of Cups is love, but I don't feel like it's just love, romantic love. I also feel it's the potential of loving what you do. You know, that Empress so creative, and you're being called to your creative energy this month. The Chariot representing your unlimited potential. The Sun is your illuminator. All right. Make sure my cards are in the upright. We have Six of Cups. Six of Cups. Interesting. It is mirroring the Ace of Cups. Coming over the Queen of Cups. That's a lot of cups. Six of Cups talks about nostalgia. Happy, treasured memories. It can talk about someone that you already know. But to me, the Six of Cups would be someone probably pretty far back in the past. But we'll see. Let's keep going. We have the Knight of Swords. Communication. We have the Six of Pentacles, coming over the Chariot, where both the Chariot and the Six of Pentacles talk about balance. Different types of balance. Six of Pentacles is very empathetic and compassionate type energy. And, the only problem, let's say, if you want to say there's a problem with the Six of Pentacles, is I gotta know who I'm giving to, right? I gotta know who I'm helping. It fits perfectly with the Empress's energy. But listen, I don't really feel this is about an issue, though it could have been a prior issue because with the Ten of Wands, could talk about you carrying like a lot of responsibility, maybe relating again to love, but maybe in any area. So this is what the Six of Pentacles is looking for, balance, right? That fine art of give and take. But it's coming over the Chariot. So again, I feel like it's a reward because you're empathetic and compassionate, because I feel like you naturally want to help others. All right, let's keep going. The Queen of Pentacles can be Virgo, Taurus, Capricorns coming right below Taurus, over the Nine of Wands. And then we have the Seven of Wands. Interesting, because the Seven of Wands is about standing your ground. It's coming over the Ace of Cups and connected to justice. Some of you are ending an old relationship. You're ending it. And I feel like, or you've already ended it. And now I feel like you need to end it energetically. Like, let it go. And I know I'm asking a lot. But I feel like, yes, there are definitely times to stand our ground. And yeah, maybe, if this, let's say, is a divorce, because justice can represent a divorce. But of course, this is not something I'm predicting. I just don't work that way. It'd be something you already know. Chances are you've already used that sword. But I feel like just, be careful not to get caught up in the drama of it all. Hmm. I don't say this very often, but I feel like there could be an apology that's coming your way. And why would that be? Because there may be someone else who has also gone through some deep reflection. You really are sitting here as the Empress, male or female. It just makes me feel you know, like you got your shit together or you're getting it together. So don't let anybody pull you backwards. And I'm not saying like if there's someone of yesteryear, you know, that contacts you out of the blue. I'm not saying don't go back to that. Not if you want to. Because the Six of Cups, again, it's a happy energy. And it's connected to the world. But some of you might be like in a final stages of clearing the old energy. And that's all I'm saying is Yes, you have every right to stand your ground, but know what you're standing your ground against. Know if it's worth it. Or is it just better just to leave? I'm going to leave that up to you, but look at this. We have the chariot again over the world. And then we have the sun again. So we have some mirroring energy going on already. The chariot and the sun, wow. I'll take it. I'll take it. Especially the chariot over the world now. Now connected also to that Six of Cups. And then the sun right over your intuition. Exactly what I felt in the beginning of your reading. How your intuition was going to be illuminated. Well, here it is, illuminated. And it's coming under that Knight of Swords where it feels like some type of communication is coming your way. It could be out of the blue. Someone may come back and tell you that there were certain issues that they had of their own that they had to deal with that you just couldn't, it's not your job anyways. Um, they may just come back and let you know that they recognize that part of themselves. And I'm hoping that means that they've cleared that energy also. Because I just get a feeling. I got a feeling this could go deeper than we expect. But I love the potential of it. And I also love the Fool being in the world's energy. So whatever was broken, now feels like it's fixed. Whatever I had to overcome, now I feel like I have. And do not leave out your spirituality because I feel like it's a big part of it, whether you know it or not. It's like your spiritual team is working behind the scenes on your behalf. Some of you may also receive, it's funny how I said some of you could be doing like mystical type of businesses. Well, I could definitely see opportunity coming to you to do exactly that. That's again why you want to set these intentions. Especially with the star here and judgment. Set those intentions and then just expect them to come true. Again, don't hold on too tightly on exactly the way it must be. Because really, I feel like this is more about going with the flow. It's like your soul is taking care of this part of the journey. And the human body is just going to allow the soul to rule. And that's a good thing. Another mirrored card. Oh my gosh. Hello, soulmates. And then look at this. How interesting. The high priestess has the sun over it. Now the sun has the high priestess over it. With the Two of Cups right in between. This is soulmates. It's definitely connecting you to the soulmates. And I also love that the chariot is right above it. Chariot is the balance of the feminine and the masculine. So to me, that means that both would be on the same vibrational level, energy. Doesn't mean they're doing the same thing. They could be. But hello, soulmates. And who is ushering in the soulmates? Your spiritual team. And how do I love that both soulmates, both of their intuitions are going to be illuminated. Both of them. It feels like it's perfectly aligned. And I also want to talk about the Queen of Pentacles because I feel like the Queen of Pentacles is for those who are building a business or just your career in general. I feel like you should be proud of you. You should be proud of the things you've accomplished, even if you don't feel like you've accomplished a lot. I feel like you've been laying some groundwork, but you may not have even realized it. It's almost like the soul is doing it behind the scenes, just like I feel your spiritual team is working behind the scenes. So it just feels like everything is possible, Leo. Everything is possible. You just have to be willing to put in the energy. Though the sun here twice, to me, the sun is like a really playful type of energy. It's unencumbered energy. It's where you can enjoy love truly. I definitely feel well, I was going to say if, I don't know how it cannot be talking about love. The Fool, again, I feel like is, how do I say this? Like, it should take away the fear. Even if this is someone we already know, it is about starting brand new. Especially if this is someone from way back in the day. You know, I know I'm going to tell you Sam and I's story. I'm not going to tell you our whole story, but we were teenage boyfriend and girlfriends. I was going to say lovers, and I'm thinking, should I say that? Teenage lovers? Um, we were, but anyway, and then we broke up. I think we were together for about a year, and then we broke up, and then we went our separate ways. What was that noise? That was a weird noise. I don't know if any of you heard it. It was like a bell. Every time a bell rings, an angel gets their wings. Every time a bell rings, an angel gets their wings. Well, hello, judgment. When I say your spiritual team is working in the background, it's like, yeah, we're in the background, but we want we want you to feel our presence. We want you to know that we're always working on your behalf, but we want you to know that so that you can trust in that. How beautiful that the star card is there and then judgment comes out. You don't think judgment is going to help your dreams come true? They are. All right. I think I'm just going to go right below. We have the Three of Cups. So this is a reason to celebrate. Three of Cups is the energy of joy. Right below the world, we have the Death card, card of Scorpio. But this talks about closing of doors. But it is so a new door can open. A lot of times in the tarot, depending on what deck you have, you'll see death slash rebirth written across it. It's really the same thing judgment talks about, right? Some things are just meant to end. Like, I don't know, like it's just over. Maybe I just have to allow it to be over. But this is the promise of a new door opening, and it's coming under the sun and over the high priestess. And then we have interesting two twos back to back. The two of swords under the two of cups. I'm laughing because I could see some of you. Like, I feel like I know you all very well. Even people who are new. Like, I feel like on a soul level, I know you. So, the two swords isn't the worst energy to receive under the two of cups. The eight of swords would be worse. Two of swords is a little bit of fear. But I get it. I get it. Because I feel like you've dealt with a lot. But I feel like the majority of you are standing as the Empress now. Again, male or female. It just means you're allowing your nurturing, loving self to be. No excuses for it. You're allowing the creative part of yourself to create. Like you trust these signs. And I have a feeling it's taken a while to get you to this point. Many of us, I feel, in the beginning of our lives are very easily drawn to like lower vibrational energy. Maybe it's in the way we're raised. I don't know. Maybe it's a soul's lesson. Because I do feel like there are rewards here, and it could be karmic rewards, which means that you've gone through some karmic lessons. And don't regret that, because that means that's what your soul came here for. We forget that. We think we're just this human being. We're a spiritual being having human experiences. I mean, let that sink in. We are a spiritual being having human, we're just borrowing this body so that we can learn and grow and experience and have adventures. It's all part of it. And even the things that don't work out, it's all part of it. It's what teaches us. You know, if it was happy all the time, what are we learning? Unless it's happy all the time because we have learned. Two swords can block the opportunity, but I feel like the soulmates is shown to let you know that this Ace of Cups isn't just another person along the road. This feels like someone, especially with the Ace of Cups and then the world following it. Because in the world's energy, I feel that this speaks that it has the potential to last the rest of your life. And even it's meant to bring you joy, not fear. You know, but I guess in a way it has to be left up to you. I think one of the things we have to learn, and this is something I had to learn myself, is not to carry old relationships, those who didn't treat us well, who, you know, lived in lower vibrational energy, and therefore we lived in lower vibrational energy. Don't allow them to take up space in your heart or your brain, your mind, right? One of our souls, our soul's journey is learning, but also clearing. If if it has anything to do with karmic lessons, then you want to be proud of that because that means you've cleared that karma for eternity. Now think of it that way. And not only did you clear it for yourself, you clear it for everyone who follows. So your children, your grandchildren, your great grandchildren. All right. It's interesting. I don't know why I'm thinking about this, but Leo, I feel like I have the less views with you. Like less people watch Leo's energy on my channel. Um, but yet I feel like your readings are always spectacular. And it's hard as a tarot reader when you know the beauty that lies within a reading and you want others, to know it. But that's where I just have to trust divine. You know, look at this, the Nine of Wands again, and it's mirroring the Nine of Wands. Synchronicities, synchronicities. So this means that both soulmates have done reflection, but the type of reflection where now they're proud of who they are today. Both of them. Both of them are listening to their intuition. Both of them have the sun as their illuminator. And both their spiritual teams have come out. Both. Synchronicities are kind of off the chart. And I know I'm talking a lot about love, but in a way, how can I not be? But I don't want you to forget about also the energy of where I feel like, honestly, I feel like there's no limits on what you can create. Whatever is your desires, like put those intentions out there. And I'm not kidding, put those intentions out there because I feel like you're going to see them come back to you. Are you ready? Number one. But if you do feel like you're ready, and here's the thing, don't get hung up on thinking, I need to know everything before maybe I bring something to the world. Sometimes you're learning as you go. That's what I feel like what I do in tarot. Like, I've been doing it for 10 years on YouTube. I was doing it before that, but it literally was blinded. I knew nothing, and I just began. And now I have to tell you, my intuition, my psychic abilities, my spiritual team, like it is all opened up. Doesn't mean I live a perfect life, but I recognize, I definitely can recognize, like, when I'm getting in my own way, let's say. Oh my God. Hello, Ten of Pentacles. Geez, Leo. And it's coming under judgment. This is the house of abundance. To me, the Ten of Pentacles is a house that can truly take root, meaning to me that it can last forever. Sometimes it can be handed down. Like if I'm creating a business, well, when I'm done, I want to retire, I hand it down to my children or a child. I feel like it's something that could live long, like past you. But I never feel you're alone in the Ten of Pentacles or the Ten of Cups. I feel like you're with someone. But this must be someone who also, well, let's just say, someone who, I want to say has money, but let's just say is earning money. So this is not someone without a job. This is someone who's worked hard, I feel, as you have. And I feel they have also. But listen, this is also great energy of collaborating. Soulmates are great in love, yes, but they're also great at collaborating because they think a lot alike. They're like minded. So we can definitely feed ideas off each other. And who knows, maybe one of those ideas is like, well, let's start something. Abundance of the utmost. Like, I don't know, we can't ask for more than the Ten of Pentacles. We can ask, but the Ten of Pentacles is something we truly should be grateful for. And in the three, mirroring the Three of Cups, that's exactly what you are. You're grateful, you're joyful, you're celebrating it. I feel like you're celebrating love, but you're also celebrating the ability to make money. Some of you, maybe it's been a while since you've seen like the fruits of your labor, but now they feel like they're going to start flowing. I feel like whatever that sword was used for, it feels like it served you very well. Someone else might not have liked it, but oh well, oh well. Right? Because everyone has the same opportunities. Like, we can all grow spiritually if we choose, or not. But everyone on this table feels like that's exactly what's happening. Like when I'm seeing the soulmates, by the way, right in the middle of this spread, and it's connected right to you. Wow, to me, there really is a potential of a very what's high vibrational love. I mean, your soulmates. And what I love about this image is the looking eye to eye. And I feel like when you look at someone's eyes, it's like the window of their soul. So there's probably soul recognition here. It may take a moment. It depends. It depends how you receive it. Remember, there's two people in this. So each of them is receiving it, well, again, like-minded, so probably in the same way. So just someone is a little fearful. So probably the one who didn't expect it. But maybe neither one of you expected it. Maybe you just meet along the path. Because you both have the Chariot. You both have the Sun. Here I go. I'm repeating everything I said. All right. I don't know what made me turn this over, but I did. Two of Wands, stepping upon a new path. But the Two of Wands is a path that you're very comfortable with. It is your natural energy. So it is adventure. Um, it is taking chances. It is passion, but passion for many different things. And there's a lot of little avenues off this path that you can take, right? Learn from that avenue and then get back on that path, whatever it may be. All right. So I want to bring out the clarifying love situation since love is definitely part of the reading. And you guys, I swear, like, I do not try. Well, I don't try to make these readings anything other than what they want to be. But sometimes when love comes up all the time, I worry, like, is that what you guys think is all I think about is love? It's not me. It's what your spiritual team wants to present to us. And love is a big part of our life. But again, I'm not sitting here thinking because I feel a majority of you are in the Empress's energy. So it's not that like I'm desperately searching for love, but I'm open. And maybe that's all you need to be. It's just open. Wow. Okay. We got a lot, but we're going to take them. Resilient roots. Endure the storms. Protect your core and grow stronger with each challenge. It's exactly what you've done. Shadowed waters. Beware illusions that skim the surface, for true understanding lies in the deep. That reminds me of Scorpio for some reason. The Scorpio is very comfortable under the water and above the water. We have transformational. Through learning, shift your perspective and evolve beyond limits. Wow. Through learning, shift your perspective and evolve beyond limits. That's why you have the chariot twice. And then last but not least, shining sign. Trust in the universe's plan and follow your heart. Wow. Shining sign. Well, the sun is definitely illuminating the signs. So trust in the universe's plan and follow your heart. All right. Last but not least, let's bring out the romance angels. Give them a cut. New love. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. Those who are single, I feel like that's very good news. Playfulness. Well, when you see the sun so often, it is calling for your playfulness. And you are a very playful sign. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. And let's take one more. Well, I didn't literally mean one more. I was going to say one more round, but wow, that wanted to come out. Chemistry. There's a strong magnetic attraction here. Undeniable. undeniable. You know, the only thing, if I would say that would worry me, would be the Two of Swords. Because I don't know if you really want to block an opportunity here or if it's fear blocking it. This isn't telling you that you must fall in love, that you must accept this energy. That's not what this is about. This is the potential. This is the potential you have to live the life that you want. And it's like a roadmap to help you get there. So, turn that around. Let's just turn that around. You have the most beautiful cards. You have abundance financially, but you have abundance in love also. You have such strong mirroring energy that I was not surprised to see the soulmates. How could it not be soulmates? Now, these soulmates, I feel like, yes, love for sure. But I also feel the ability to take our creative energy because we're so like minded and create something together. Or you're feeding ideas off each other because I feel like the Ten of Pentacles, it truly is the house of abundance. And the star is right there. So, whatever it is that you may be working on, or if you're looking for a new job, that Knight of Swords can be an opportunity that's coming in. I have to say, part of me is feeling it's not you carrying this Two of Swords. And I'm not really that worried about it because I feel like the energy will just be too hard to ignore. And that could be why the Two of Wands came out. Because sometimes it's just about stepping on the path. You can always change directions anytime you want. But step upon it, see what it feels like. Use your intuition. Watch for those shining signs and follow them the whole way home. All right, I'm going to let that be, Leo. I love you guys. I thank you. Um, I want to say I really thank those who share this with their social network platforms. I knew not everybody likes to do that, and I totally get that. But for those who do, thank you, thank you, thank you. And sometimes you hear a message and you may be like, it doesn't sound like me, but you know who that sounds like? Sounds like my sister, or it sounds like my best friend. So you share it with them. And I thank you for that. Because again, spirit will use us um to help get messages to those who need messages. I mean, that is their job, and they're very happy doing it. So, anyways, I thank you for all the ways you support this channel, truly. Um, I love you so much. I really, really do. And I thank you for the love that you send back to me. I feel it. And this is what keeps me doing this. Honestly, it's not the money because there's very little money to be made. I'm sure there's some channels who make, or at least they claim make millions, but I don't know any of them. So I do this out of love, is really why I do it. And I love doing it. Like to me, it's like getting to watch a movie a couple times a day because every read is like a new movie to me. And this is the story of Leo. I love you. I thank you. I'll see you next time at our table. And again, happy birthday to those celebrating a birthday. May this be your best birthday yet. Bye bye.